Earth had refused every galactic summit for one simple reason. Humanity didn't trust anyone out there. And because of that choice, the galaxy had gone quiet. Too quiet. No one on Earth noticed it at first. The stars looked the same. The sky looked the same. Even the deep space sensors remained calm, showing nothing unusual. But Commander Rhea Morgan felt something wrong in her bones. She had served 20 years in space, and silence like this never meant peace. It meant something was coming. She stood inside the Orbital Defense Command, watching long-range scanners sweep across endless darkness. The room was calm, officers speaking in low voices, screens glowing blue. But Rhea couldn't shake the feeling. Why does the void feel heavier today? She whispered to herself. Her second-in-command, Jonas Hale, noticed her expression. You okay, Commander? No, she replied honestly. Something is moving out there. I don't know what yet. Before Jonas could answer, one of the deep space sensors flickered. Then another, and another. A soft alarm rang to the command deck. Nothing loud, nothing dramatic, just a warning tone meant for anomalies. Rhea's heart tightened. Report, she ordered immediately. A young analyst stared at his console, confusion turning into fear. Commander, I think this is a mass signature detection. How many vessels? Rhea asked. The analyst swallowed hard. Not vessels. Commander, this is thousands. The deck fell silent. Rhea stepped closer. The screen stabilized, revealing a shape. No, a swarm, moving inside the void. A formation so large it didn't look real. Jonas whispered, That can't be right. The analyst corrected his voice, terrified. Commander, this is a 2,000 warship armada entering our space. Rhea felt her blood run cold. Earth's refusal had finally been answered. From the void itself, the first image of the incoming fleet appeared on the main holoscreen. Even the most experienced officers stepped back. No one had ever seen ships like these, dark, silent, shaped like blades carved from pure night. They moved without thrusters, without heat signatures, without any known technology. It was as if the void itself had grown a fleet. Commander Rhea Morgan felt the weight of the moment settle into her chest. Enhance the image, she ordered quietly. The holo zoomed in, sharpening every detail. Each warship carried glowing symbols along its hull, symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. They were not familiar, not from any known empire, not from any ally, not on any database. Jonas stared at the symbols. Commander, do you recognize anything? Rhea shook her head. No, and that scares me more. More alarms began to echo across the command deck. New signatures. More movement. More ships. The analyst's voice trembled. They are still arriving. The count is climbing 1870-1910. Commander, it just hit 2,000. Another officer added. They're not broadcasting anything. No greetings. No warnings. No threats. Nothing. The silence felt louder than any weapon. Rhea steadied her breath. Open a blind channel. Broadcast standard greeting. The communication system projected her voice across the darkness. Unknown fleet, this is Commander Rhea Morgan of Earth. Identify yourselves. Silence. Not a crackle. Not a whisper. Then something changed. Every ship in the Armada turned, perfectly synchronized, facing Earth, not drifting, not adjusting, turning as if obeying a single mind. Jonas felt his throat tighten. They heard us, but they don't talk. Rhea watched in horror as the fleet's formation shifted, creating a massive circle around a central shape emerging from the void. A ship larger than a city. A flagship, as if the void itself had a king. The flagship moved with impossible grace, gliding out of the darkness like a living shadow. Its hull stretched nearly 10 kilometers long, shaped like a black crescent. No lights, no windows, no visible engines. Only a faint ring of white energy circling its center. Cold, silent, unnatural. Commander Rhea Morgan felt the entire command deck freeze. Measure its mass, she whispered. The analyst checked, then stopped breathing for a moment. Commander, the readings make no sense. It's heavier than any megastructure we've ever scanned. But it's hollow? Hollow, Jonas echoed. That's impossible. The analyst nodded helplessly. I know, but that's what the instruments say. Before Rhea could respond, every screen on the command deck flickered, static spreading across the displays like frost. The lights dimmed. A low, vibrating hum filled the room. Not sound, something deeper, something felt in the bones. Is that a signal? Jonas asked. No, Rhea answered softly. It's inside the station. The hum grew stronger, and suddenly a figure appeared on the central holoscreen. Not a person, not a creature, a shape, white, shifting, almost like smoke trying to imitate a living form. No eyes, no face, just presence. Everyone stood frozen. Then came the message, not through speakers, not through the comms. It appeared directly inside every mind. A cold whisper. Earth ignored the summons. Rhea felt her heart stop for a second. Jonas staggered back, clutching his head. Commander, it's speaking inside us. The whisper continued, calm, emotionless, ancient. You chose isolation. You chose silence. Now you will witness consequence. The image on the holoscreen widened, showing the entire. Rhea forced her voice to steady. Ready defense grid. All stations. Now! Because whatever these beings were, they weren't here to talk. The battle formation around Earth tightened. Thousands of void ships aligned with surgical precision, each one angled toward humanity's homeworld like a drawn blade. The flagship remained still, its crescent shape pulsing with cold, white light. It didn't feel like a starship anymore. It felt like judgment. Commander Rhea Morgan moved across the command deck, giving orders with a calm she didn't feel inside. All orbital stations, raise shields to maximum. Activate missile grids. Charge particle cannons. Officers responded instantly. The entire Earth defense network lit up across the planet. Hundreds of satellites, weapon platforms, and shield arrays powering on. Blue shields shimmered around the orbital stations, like glowing domes. Jonas checked the readiness status. Defense grid at 84%. Cannons fully charged. Rhea exhaled. We hold the line. But the fleet still didn't fire. Not a single shot. Not even a threat display. Just a silence. The psychic voice returned, heavy, emotionless. Too old to understand mercy. You refuse unity. You denied the galaxy. Your choice echoes. Rhea clenched her fists. If they wanted to wipe us out, they'd have done it already. Jonas nodded slowly. Then what are they waiting for? Almost as if they heard him, the Armada shifted. The void around the flagship bent, twisting like liquid space. A ring of white energy spun around it, growing brighter, faster, forming something circular, deliberate, a portal, but not like any portal humans had seen. This one looked alive, stretching outward with tendrils of light. Rhea's eyes widened. They're opening a breach. The analyst shouted, Commander! Gravitational spikes rising, violent, unstable. A shock wave rippled outward, shaking the orbital station. Consoles flickered. Officers stumbled. Jonas grabbed the railing. They're not attacking Earth. Rhea finished his sentence, voice tight. They're bringing something through. The question was, what? The breach expanded until it dwarfed the flagship. A swirling sphere of white and black energy spun in the darkness, its tendrils stretching like cosmic roots. Every sensor in Earth's orbit screamed with warnings, gravity spikes, temporal distortions, unknown particles. But nothing came through. Not a ship, not a weapon, not a planet-sized beast. Just the shape, a single drifting silhouette. Commander Rhea Morgan stared at the holoscreen, unable to understand what she was seeing. Zoom in, she ordered. The view tightened. The shape grew clearer. It was a vessel, a human vessel. Old, damaged, burned by radiation. Half its hull missing. Half floating, half dying. But unmistakably human design. Jonas whispered, That's impossible. The analyst's voice trembled as he checked the identification code. Commander, this ship vanished 80 years ago during our first deep space expansion. Rhea felt her blood freeze. The Odyssey, the first Earth exploration ship that disappeared without a trace. The psychic voice returned, colder than before. Your explorers entered the Forbidden Star. They were shown truth. They carried it. They would not submit. Rhea swallowed hard. Truth? What truth? The voice did not answer. Instead, the breach pulsed, and the damaged ship suddenly broadcast a weak, broken message. A man's voice, old and tired, filled the command deck. To anyone, this is Captain Arlen Hayes. If Earth still lives, listen. Static, fragmenting. Then the voice continued. Do not trust a void. It does not negotiate. It consumes. Rhea felt her throat tighten. Captain Hayes, you're alive? No, not alive, not fully, the voice whispered, trembling. The void took us, changed us, used us, and now it wants Earth. The message cut off. Silence returned. Jonas stepped back, horrified. Commander! They're not just here to punish us. Rhea nodded slowly. They're here to finish what they started with the Odyssey. And the breach began to pulse again. Stronger, hungrier. The breach roared open, now wide enough to swallow a moon. Tendrils of white-black energy lashed outward, striking the damaged human ship and pulling it back toward the flagship like a puppet on invisible strings. Captain Hayes' final message still echoed in Commander Rhea Morgan's mind. The void consumes. Rhea stood still for one long heartbeat, then made her choice. Jonas, she said quietly, prepare the Echelon Protocol. Jonas stared at her. Commander, that's not a defense. That's a declaration, Rhea finished. Around them, the orbital station shook again as the Void Armada tightened its circle. The flagship's energy ring glowed brighter, preparing something catastrophic, something that could erase Earth in a single breath. Rhea stepped forward, activating Earth's hidden broadcast channel, one created decades ago for only one purpose: final negotiation or final war. She spoke clearly. Void Fleet, humanity does not bow. If you demand our submission, you will be disappointed. If you seek to consume us, you'll find we burn too bright. The psychic voice entered every mind again, colder than ever. Earth refuses unity. Earth chooses defiance. Rhea lifted her chin. Yes, because unity without freedom is slavery. A pulse rippled through the Void Armada. Thousands of ships shifted, charging weapons. The breach crackled violently. Jonas whispered, Commander, they're going to strike. Rhea pressed her palm on the control panel. Activate Echelon. Space around Earth ignited. From hidden vaults deep under the crust, from secret stations behind the moon, from cloaked fleets waiting in silence, humanity's true force emerged. 200 dreadnoughts uncloaked, 4,000 fighter wings launched. Massive shield arrays powered up with blinding blue light. For the first time, the Void Armada paused. Rhea spoke one last line, steady and fearless. Earth refused your summons, but we answer your threat. The defense grid fired. The Void roared back. And the galaxy finally learned. Humanity never kneels.